Hey everyone, this is Ryan Mallory for SharePlanner.com. Today is January 16th, 2003. A little bit under the weather today. I started getting it a little yesterday and it's in full force today. Man, I tell you what, over the weekend I had a fever, so I don't know what it is. All I can think of is I got a son in preschool that's probably a carrying agent for everything those kids go to school with, and he's bringing it home, and I'm the one that's getting destroyed by it. But in any case, that all said and done, still able to trade, still able to enjoy it, and still able to do this session of live charts with you guys. I'm going to go over today. It's sort of a different live chart than what I've done in the past. There's one chart I'm going to cover first outside of the S&P like I generally do, and then I'm going to jump into the IBD big picture list of stocks. So these are going to be stocks that have some good fundamental stories to them. I'm not going to go into what that story is on each of them, but I'm going to try to highlight them from a technical standpoint to see if there's opportunities to get in from a technical side. So some of them will be really brief, some of them I just might have a couple of words for, but then the ones that are setting up nicely, that's the ones that I'll spend the most time on. As usual, I try to keep these to under 15 minutes just so that I don't clog up your day watching a really long video. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and get started. First off, the S&P 500, we have another one, and these days keep getting more and more aggressive. If you look at the action from the last, 4 days, you can see here we had a good sell-off. Actually, let me pull it up on the bigger chart here. Okay, so back on the 11th, which was Friday, we had a big sell-off, and then it just sort of steadily marched higher. Then we had another big sell-off on Monday, tried to do the same exact thing, and then spiked pretty hard into the close. Then yesterday we had a even bigger sell-off, and then just like a straight line push to break even, and then followed by a little bit of a sell-off, and then another huge push higher and to actually finish in the green. So that was a big day for the markets because it went from a low of 1463 and closed at 1473. So that's a 10-point move off of the morning lows. And then today, same exact thing. Sell off, and then right after that first, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of trading when we established the day's lows, just beelined it right back into positive territory. So what that's telling you is that every one of these lows followed by the huge buying spikes of is indicating that there is a lot of dip buyers out there that is trying to buy everything and anything that they can on the dip, and that is what's resulting in these pushes higher. And they're getting more and more aggressive, which leads me to believe that we're probably going to see a breakout here pretty soon on the first hint of good news. All right, let's just go ahead and jump into it. The first chart that somebody had asked me to look at, UAL, I think earlier I was thinking he had said UA, but UAL actually is breaking out. So this is a nice breakout play. The only thing be somewhat guarded about is the fact that since the beginning of the year it's gone from 22.95 all the way up to 26, so it's about a 10+% gain, about a 15% gainer almost. But that shouldn't be a deterrence to getting long on this thing. So find the right drawing tool here. Box. So you got a box right here. It's trading in. It breaks out of that box and it's going higher. So your ideal entry would be like around 26.01 if you can get a pullback to that. After that, I would put my stop loss, if you can get in at 26.01, put your stop loss at about 25.18. So that'll give you about a 3% stop loss or so. All right, let's go ahead and dig into these Imdb guys. But by the way, UAL, nice looking stock here, and let me draw one more trend line before I go from it. Yep, thought it would. So you also have support on this rising trend line. So once you start getting into the money on this stock, you can just march that price up higher and higher and higher. So good looking setup there. Definitely like it. All right, now on to MDCO. This is part of the big picture from IBD, Investor Business Daily. This one here, I don't see any reason to get into it at this point. Very overextended. It's gone from 23.43 all the way up to 29. No break, no pullback, nothing. So I would take that one and scratch it. I would have tried to chase after price action in that one. Signet Jewelers, this one's a little bit better here. You have an uptrend already in place. What has typically been the case for this stock is to trade in a channel and to continue doing so. Now you can see it's in that upper channel band there, which would get me very nervous about trying to get into this thing. But if you can get in on the pullback to this long-term trend line at around 54, 30, 54.50, it's going to go up every day. So if it doesn't hit until the end of the month, it's going to be somewhere around 55.30. So you got to watch that trend line and just try to see if you can get an entry off of that. But right now, I would say that the likelihood is it's not going to so much break out hard to the upside as much as it will to come back down to this existing trend line, just like it has done many, many, many times in the past. CVLT. All right, got to adjust some old lines that I've drawn on this sucker. This one looks a little bit more bearish to me than anything. You have a double top here. It's trying to confirm it. So if it breaks below 66.14, that's where you'd want to get, very bearish on that stock at that point. I'm not necessarily saying short it, but I'm just saying I wouldn't look at it from a bullish perspective. I would say that tides have turned on it and it's getting bearish, but there's really no clear edge to trade this to the long side. REGN, double top as well. Key support level for this one is going to be at 164.35. If it breaks below that, I would say there's probably a good chance it could go down into the 140s, low 140s before finally hitting a bottom. So some support at the 50-day moving average, as you can see here from the last time it tested it, but clearly a bearish setup. I wouldn't try to trade it even if it broke above these recent highs. So breakouts of double tops, I don't think those really do that great, quite honestly. I know a lot of people trade them as breakout plays, but I don't. DNKN, a lot of these coffee stocks and stuff like that, they're very cyclical. They go on these massive runs and everything, just like DNKN has been doing. I would bet if you looked at Starbucks, you got a similar rally where it's gone from 45 up to 54. So these things all seem to trade lockstep higher. You got a channel that this thing is trading in as well. So let's go ahead and draw that one. So this isn't a bad one to get long on. You could play it a couple of ways. It's up at almost a full % today. You could get in at 34.33 and keep a tight stop loss at just below 33.81, or you could move your stop loss just a little further down and put it at 33.54 with the expectation that this thing could get all the way up to this upper band here and maybe test. Let's see here. Could get into the high 35s. So that would be a good trade. Good recent, good reward to risk there, and it would be about 2 to 1 in your favor. So I'll add that one as well to my watch list. BCEI. Okay, nice consolidation, another uptrending stock, and probably a lot of these are trending so nicely higher because of the recent attention they've gotten from some of these big publishers like IBD and others. So don't know if it necessarily means it's trading in a channel, sort of, just of late, but if it could break above 31.17, that might be a good opportunity to get long. You could play maybe a little bit safer and go 31.36, but your risk isn't going to be as good. So I would say 31, what did I say, 31, 30, 39, let's go with 30.93 as being the preferred entry. So I'll add that one to my watch list as well. I think there's some possibilities to that. Let's look at LOPE. I haven't even heard of this one, quite honestly. Education stock, so I would be very careful with these. These things just do some of the most bizarre things, like what you see here back in July, followed by this huge gap up. Just notorious for heavy sell-offs. I just see this thing trading in consolidation, a wide consolidated range with no clear edge to trade off of. So that is the perspective I would take on this one as well. No reason to get long or short at this point, although if it gets below 22.15, that might be a good reason to get short on that stock. I'm actually going to add this to my shorts list. All right, Lnkd, one of the social stocks. You have some consolidation here, but you also have a gap, below that consolidation, which it's going to probably be likely feel the need to fill. So I would stay away from trying to get long on it. I mean, there is some support at 116.50 that if it dipped below that, you could say, okay, I'm getting out. You got the consolidation right above the 10-day moving average without violating it. Sorry for that cough there. So if you're determined to play it long, I would probably say get in at 118.78, put the stop at like 115. Let's just say if it starts to fill that gap at 115.28, you'd want to get out. So I don't really like the stock, but a little unpredictable for me. For URBN, another uptrending stock. It's popped outside of that upper band. Not quite your ideal stock to get long on at this point. If you're going to trade this, I'd wait for it to come back to this 39.50 level, or whenever it hits that upper band or that lower band that's rising. ARMH, there we go. Definitely scratched too much overextension and gappiness in that one. TSM, double top formation, but you got this weird gap formation here. Support at 17.27. No clear edge on that one. TDG, no clear edge of that one either. MA, overextended. You could draw a trend line that I'm sure would probably fit quite nicely on it. Almost a perfect trend line. So ideally, if it comes back down to this 485, that's where you'd want to consider a long position, not now and not before. ELLI, this one looks bearish, more bearish than bullish to me. You got some heavy distribution here, followed by a sell-off, light sell-off, and then another short-term pop, which also looks distributive. You have, some people call these like the three towers or something like that, I believe. I can't speak for sure on that, but nonetheless, it's sort of like a very quick head and shoulders pattern. So bearish, of course, left shoulder, right shoulder. I'm sorry, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Breaks, consolidation, bull flags. I'm adding that one to my short list. RDR, this thing's getting ready to get pretty crazy probably in the next 15 minutes or 10 minutes. So I wouldn't do nothing with this one. I mean, it's got some consolidation that's looking nice here if it breaks above 49.20, but if these rules that are executive orders that nobody knows comes out and it messes up things, this thing is not going to obey technical analysis at all. So let's just skip that one. CTSH, gappy again. You could say that's a bull flag, but there's really no price surge outside of the gap higher. You got an uptrend here that it might run into if it continues to consolidate sideways. So it would need to go into the 77, lower 77s to touch that, and then maybe at that point I would get long on that. So I'll add that to my watch list just to keep a good eye on it. CELG, and I got to sort of push through these a little fast. Overextended, no point in going through that one. I'm not sure why my LMCA is not working very well. So there's a bunch of those LMCAs and stuff like that. So I'm not sure which one it is that IBD is referring to. Great looking trend line in place here. I mean, if you look, it just keeps going up higher and higher. The extent the trend line keeps getting it over or more and more steep, which, you know, it looks healthy from the onset, but eventually this thing's going to run out of gas and probably need to pull back down to this, you know, $29 level, which is $6 below it, or, you know, 20% or so. So don't play off of that extended trend line. Wait to see if it'll come back to that long-term trend line. That's where you'd want to get long at. THC, WPI. Definitely bearish. You got heavy distribution here, followed by a head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Just hasn't confirmed yet. WPI. What's the next one? CTRX. Could be a breakout play, but just not my cup of tea, because it's not what you would call a consolidation, just a lot of long-term like choppiness. CYBX, heavy consolidation again, pops up higher, so as a head fake, I'd stay away from stocks that are head faking like that. HTHT, Chinese stock, it's broken out, consolidating a little bit, but I think this one comes down to 1750, and that's where I would look to get long at, or consider getting long at. So let's revisit that one later on. I'll write that down. And then the last one is SSTK. Shutterstock, there's not a lot of price history on this thing, so I wouldn't trade it. Besides that, it looks like it's got a double top on it. It may do good in the future. There's just not enough to base the technical analysis off of. All right, that's going to do it for now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the splash zone. I'll be around there the whole time. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so. Take care now.